On Thai PBS World Tonight, Prime Minister teams up with Naomi Campbell to enhance Thai fashion onto the global stage. Thai police plans to set up an international center to trace people trafficked into Myanmar. And special interview with a global HR firm CEO to highlight how to survive during the shift of the global hiring trend in 2025. Good evening, you're watching Thai PBS World Tonight. I'm Frank Kanshi.
And I'm Nat Bunna.
Today at the beginning, we're going to talk about the exclusive encounter between our Prime Minister Paetongtarn and the supermodel Naomi Campbell, who really discussed about how to elevate Thailand's fashion industry to the global stage. So, Of course, it's very important news today to talk about it too.
Exactly, because the government has been trying to push for soft power and the fashion industry is actually part of it. And yesterday, Prime Minister Paetongtarn discussed with British supermodel Naomi Campbell at the government house to discuss ways to put Thailand's fashion industry onto the international stage. And during the discussion, Naomi talked about her first impression of Thailand from her first visit back in 1994. During her fashion shoot for British Vogue, and how she loved the hospitality of the Thai people as well as the climate, while also talking about where she visited in Bangkok this time around. For this, she said she wants to see more Thai brands getting recognition on the global stage. In response, Prime Minister Paetongtarn talked about how the government's National Soft Power Committee has been working with the private sector to improve the global presence of Thai products. So let's have a listen to parts of the conversation between the two.
I want to see like all the brands from here.
Local brands.
Local brands, yeah. Skincare, makeup, design wear. I want to see all of it. And then I want to see what we can add. Yeah.
Be ready to support because before this, I believe that Dr. Surapong has been doing all the work with all the private sectors.
Yeah.
You know, like arts, books, fashion, of course. And Thailand I think, is very strong for the craftsmanship.
Right.
As well, you know, and we have our own fabric, own texture, and we have a lot of skilled people who can, you know, produce and make some different kind of fabric or something like that to make the fashion can go like very uniquely. So I think that can be, you know, the background of whatever we want to do. We want to do in the future.
It should be the foundation always. That's the heritage.
Yes.
That's the authenticity. So it should start from there.
And when talking about the global fashion industry, the key events that people would watch out for is Fashion Week, such as New York Fashion Week and Paris Fashion Week. And on this topic, Naomi asked whether Thailand has organized Fashion Weeks before, in which Paetongtarn responded that there are events here and there where Thai designers would gather together to showcase their designs, but not on the same scale as Paris Fashion Week. Therefore, Naomi suggested that the Thai government can provide more incentives to elevate Thailand's craftsmanship.
Is there a fashion week? You have a fashion week?
It's like a Thai fashion event. All the Thai designers come together, and then we have like a show, and the Princess of Thailand join the show as well. So yeah, we have different kind of fashion, but not like fashion week in Paris, something like that.
So it's like a few days or 5 days?
Maybe like for 2-3 days like that, but not very.
My thing is thinking of an incentive that gets the nation to get them involved. So I think something like a competition in a way.
Yes.
And maybe it's televised.
Yes.
Because that way it gets them the morale gets picked up. And you always find great stars out there. And then also we were talking about maybe partnering with one of the fashion schools, either in St. Martin's or Maglione in Milan. That's also a possibility, and I'm sure they would like to do a crossover. It's just a matter of meeting and discussing, but I think it's good because you have a craftsmanship with silk that they don't know. You can share.
And apart from her discussions with the Thai Prime Minister, Naomi has also met with senior Thai officials to discuss soft power development through the fashion industry. At the same time, the discussions were focused on creating career paths for young people from rural and disadvantaged backgrounds by providing training and industry access. One proposal involved identifying and developing aspiring models in Thailand, with local professionals offering initial mentorship, and selected candidates would then receive advanced training abroad. And although she will not serve as a cultural ambassador, Naomi will act as a consultant, advising on ways Thailand can strengthen its presence on the global fashion industry. And the reason why Naomi's visit is such a big thing here in Thailand is because Naomi was the first black woman to appear as a model on the covers of Time and Vogue France, and her involvement will include leveraging her extensive global network and expertise in the industry. And we have to say that the fashion industry here in Thailand has a lot of potential, and we also have to mention that there are significant events here in Thailand, whether it's Bangkok International Fashion Week and Elle Fashion Week, which often occurs during like the end of the year. So we can see that many of the Thai designers, whether it's the veteran designers or even young designers, are showcasing their designs. So it really proves that they do have the potential to reach the global stage.
So Ned, of course you've been to Bangkok International Fashion
Yes.
Week many times. So of course you can see the creativity of Thai designers here
Exactly.
in Thailand. But of course this time we have Naomi Campbell here to push Thailand's products and of course designer and models to international stage, because it's very important. People imagine and of course always envision about the face. Of course it's one of
the face.
her program, and of course we have a sequel in Thailand too, in Thai language. So of course this time we see the closeness and the friendliness between Paetongtarn and Naomi Campbell here to really push Thailand forward. But of course I think Naomi Campbell also point out which part that Thailand has to improve to push really
Yes.
every aspect to international stage. So we will see how it goes.
Exactly,
in
and
the
it's not
future.
just where Thailand needs to improve, but she actually highlighted the strengths that Thailand has, whether it's the craftsmanship, because this is something that is really unique compared to Western culture. So Westerns can actually learn from Thailand as to how they actually craft their products or even their textiles, because if you go up north or down south, the textiles are really different as well. So many people can actually learn from Thailand, and actually when they understand the story behind the craftsmanship, they can actually reveal these stories to the world as well.
And Thai silk too. I think
Exactly.
all of these products that Thailand can push forward, but we will see how the government really work with Naomi Campbell to really push for that. And in addition to this international cooperation, of course, we have to give you an update about the scam cities and of course the human trafficking stories in Myanmar that the Thailand police is planning to set up an international center to trace victims being trafficked to Myanmar. An international coordination center is to be set up in Thailand to help find and secure the release of people of any nationality who have been trafficked into Myanmar to work in scam call centers. Police General Thachai Pitanilaput, the Thai Police Inspector General, was in Dak Province on Monday to follow up on the border situation after Thailand has cut internet, electricity and fuel supplies to 5 locations in Myanmar last week. It's recommended by Liu Zhongyi, China's Vice Minister for Public Security, who visited Thailand last week to address the problem of Chinese citizens being trafficked into Myanmar. The Police Inspector General explained that the International Coordination Center will work with police in various countries whose citizens are believed to have been duped into working in scamming operations in Myanmar. It also revealed that Thai police currently have more than 100 reports from relatives in the Philippines and Bangladesh that their missing loved ones are believed to have been trafficked into Myanmar. Yesterday, in the northeastern province of Surin, police arrested 2 Vietnamese men at a shop house. that they are linked to a scam call center operating in Cambodia. In the shop house, police found a computer, 2 printers, an industrial sewing machine, and several odd pieces of equipment used to make fake passports. Police say that the arrest of the 2 men who entered Thailand illegally from Cambodia follows the rescue of a Chinese man who jumped out of a moving car when he realized that he was being smuggled into Cambodia to work in a call center. Meanwhile, joint police and military forces along the Thai-Myanmar border have been arresting people trying to smuggle fuel out of Thailand. An official in Dak province revealed that since the fuel ban has been in effect since last week, the number of vehicles from Myanmar coming and going across the border has increased from 600 to about 1,000 per day. A newly issued measure prohibiting fueling stations from selling fuel in containers is also having an impact on Thais. A farmer in Dak province said that he previously bought fuel in containers for his water pumps and tractors, but due to the new restrictions, gas stations are now refusing to sell to him, forcing him to search for an alternative source. So of course we see Thailand's government authorities right now trying to use the same, the new measure rather to curb this issue down.
And even though the proactive measures is meant to tackle these scam cities in Myanmar, but we can see huge repercussions of the power and fuel cuts to Myanmar because people have been affected in terms of getting electricity and the petrol. You can see people are smuggling fuel from Thailand back to Myanmar, and they had to resell it as well because people have been really affected. They have no access to fuel anymore.
And this is the more and more stringent policies that Thailand's government and of course I think Chinese authority, they work together to really want to resolve these issues in a short time because it really, deteriorate Thailand's reputations in a way that of course we are a tourism-driven country, and right now this Myanmar issue really haunt Thailand.
Yeah, and it really damaged Thailand's reputation because Thailand is now being seen as a transit country for human traffickers to lure into human trafficking gangs in Myanmar. So this is one of the proactive measures by the Thai government to tackle these scam cities. But hopefully with this new international center, hopefully it will not just only be in Myanmar, but also help those being lured into Cambodia as well, because there are a lot of scam cities in nearby countries as well.
So this is the measure that Thailand's government has to really solve in the nearby countries, not just Myanmar, especially also Cambodia too. In addition to regional issues, we have to put our focus on international stage too, because of course US President Donald Trump announced plan to raise import taxes on steel and aluminum on 25% of tariff. This adjustment to US trade policy could drive China to shift its production and target markets to Thailand and ASEAN. Thailand has discovered through the United States International Trade Agency that the country ranks 11th globally in aluminum exports to the US, shipping 76,000 tons of value at approximately $319 million that you can see on our screen right now. Asian exporters, particularly South Korea, which supplies both steel and aluminum to the US, are now seeking alternative markets. Between 2015 and 2017, steel exports from South Korea accounted for 70% of the country's average annual exports before the onset of the first trade war under the Trump administration. So of course you can see the rising tension between Asia and US, not just China, is rising up. China, a significant exporter of both steel and aluminum, has yet to comment on whether its metals will be subject to double tariffs, given that President Trump has already imposed a 10% tariff on Chinese goods. Paetongtarn, chairman of the Iron and Steel Industry Club, the Federation of Thai Industries, China's steel production capacity is more than 1,100 million tons per year, while China's demand is only about 900 million tons per year. So there is a surplus of 200 million tons per year. So it means that China has to find another market to sell the 200 million tons per year. The volume of exports to the world market in 2024 is expected to be a record high of more than 110 million tons because China's demand has not improved and China maintains a high production rate, almost at full capacity. The Steel Industry Group, the Federation of Thai Industries, and 10 steel associations presented a set of proposals to Mr. Paetongtarn, Minister of Industry, in an effort to address the ongoing crisis in the steel industry. The proposals include, on your screen you can see, of course, the measures to prohibit the establishment and expansion of specific types of steel factories with a production capacity that exceeds domestic demand in Thailand, initiatives to encourage government procurement projects to exclusively use domestic produced steel from factories certified as green industry level 4 or higher, the acceleration of establishing industrial product standards for prefabricated structural steel, proposal to reserve scrap iron for use as raw materials in the production of domestic steel products, and last but not least, a policy to promote the automotive waste management industry. So you can see, of course, the Commerce Minister of Thailand also went to US last week to talk about if there's any cooperation or cohesive connection between US and Thailand to see if Thailand wouldn't be affected by the tariff policy.
We're just talking about the economy. Now let's turn back to Thailand because the Finance Ministry will select a new governor next month to replace the current governor whose term will expire in September. So the Finance Minister Pichai Chunhawashira said that he will set up a committee in March to select the new governor of the Bank of Thailand who will succeed Sethaput Suthiwan Naruput, whose term ends in September. He explained that the selection committee must have formed sooner rather than later because it usually takes a long time to decide upon the right person for the job. And regarding the Finance Ministry's nomination of Somchai Satchapong, who is the former Finance Permanent Secretary, as the candidate for the post of chairman of the Central Bank's board, Pichai noted that Somchai is well-versed in financial affairs and macroeconomics. He also went on to explain that even though there is clear separation of powers between the central bank board chairman and the various committees in the bank, such as the Monetary Policy Committee, the chairman is entitled to provide guidance. And previously, we have reported that the Finance Ministry's candidate for the chairmanship, Kitirat Naranong, was ruled unqualified by the Council of State in December because he used to serve as an advisor to former Prime Minister Sethar Thavisin, and the post of the chairperson has been vacant since last September. So there are two positions for the Bank of Thailand right now, is the new governor and the new board chairman. So there is a lot going on with the Bank of Thailand at the moment. And previously, we have also reported that there are possible political interference when it comes to the Bank of Thailand, because you have seen that the way the Bank of Thailand thinks about the economy and the government has been quite at odds.
So actually fought into instability, of course. I think chairman and of course governor, we will see that vacancy very soon. So I think, of course, Bank of Thailand inside right now, they might have some power struggle there to see who will become the governor and who will become the chairman. And as what you said about the political interference there, as in, of course, in the record that Pheu Thai would like, the government administration wants to have that Gedirat in that seat, but right now it's disqualified. So we will see how it goes. Another story we will talk about is global hiring trend. As in, of course, we talk about tech-savvy talents are very important for future employers. And right now, of course, I have the chance to talk to the one global recruitment firm CEO that he emphasizes that the secretarial position, clerical position holders should learn more skill with digital platforms. Let's have a look of our discussions. According to World Economic Forum's report, there's a very important trend here because the tech-savvy jobs still there. The employers, they still want to get tech-savvy talents to get in. But how about the clerical positions, administrative position there?
Yeah.
What should they do? Because it's an alarming message to them.
Yes.
How can they get up with the trend? Or they might be disqualified in the market.
Yes, and I think it's the responsibility of everybody to educate themselves, of course, on the new digital tools that are available. And you don't have to be a software programmer to have a good basic understanding where AI can be relevant in your world to either make you more effective or more efficient in your day-to-day work. So I think lifting yourself over the threshold of not being scared of AI is an important feature to have. I think as the world gets more remote and globalized, I think it's also important to make sure that you are good at program management or project management. And there's a lot of tools on the market freely available to help you in that, for example, a Trello or other applications that you can use for that. And I think the third piece is language capability. We truly believe that the human relationship will still be central despite all the technology advancements. And if you want to be able to do that in a globalized world, and especially from a Thai perspective, I think it's important to have language skills in Mandarin, Korean, Japanese, apart from your English capabilities. So I don't think people should panic. I think they should just upskill themselves.
I got a data from one online recruitment platform. 3 in 5 people worldwide plan for new jobs hunting, but they think the job search will be quite difficult too. So what do employers now, what do they prioritize? What do they want to see from talents in 2025?
Well, we focus more on leadership capabilities, of course. And what you saw in the 80s was more a need for IQ. Then in the 90s, you saw the development of EQ. And then in the 2000s came SQ, the more social, how do you adapt socially? And now what you see is more need for people who are able to live in an AQ world where you can deal with adversary. So because the world is changing so fast, you need to be agile to switch your mindset very fast and be okay with change. And with that comes positive thinking. And we see that our clients are screaming out for that type of mentality and resilience in their candidates. So I think there's definitely a world out there that is looking for that type of candidate. So if you skill yourself and make yourself strong in that, that's the future.
In the global hiring trend, employers, they still focus on tech-savvy talents. How about Thailand's market? What do you see?
Yeah, I think it's a good market. We have seen a shift of companies coming to Thailand to set up their shared service centers as well, or the development centers. And what is also great to see that there's a decent fintech ecosystem here. And we see investments from big global companies on cloud computing or even data centers being set up here. And I think that's in Thailand, if they want to create a climate for that to attract, you need to be able to produce enough talent, but also the infrastructure for things like data centers. But Thailand's definitely on the map there, and I think it's making good progress.
Right. So, of course, the CEO talked about there's a lot of discussions and there's a lot of opportunities to learn new skills via digital platforms because most of them are free. If you go to YouTube or other video platform, you can just learn them. But another important point is about communications. How about, we talk about IQ, EQ. Right now, he talks about SQ. Social skills there, the communicative.
Social skills is becoming much more important. In fact, it has always been important, but it's not such a big issue now because nowadays people are pretty much glued to their computer screens and their phone screens to a point where they seem to forget about the basic things such as manners or even empathy or compassion. So that is why SQ is becoming much more important and people are starting to understand why we need to talk about this a lot more often as well.
Strategic communication, no matter in job, in your life, that you talk to people, the manners, and how about your goals there in terms of communications to lead to the right direction. That's the key.
And that is part of the soft skills as well, because many of the employers do place importance on the soft skills apart from the hard skills, because soft skills, it requires a lot of communication and it's everything about people to people all the time. No matter which industry you work for, you will always have to deal with people. And The problems that persist in many of the companies or in the office, it's always about people issues. All right, and that wraps up tonight's edition of Thai PBS World Tonight. Join us every Monday and Tuesday at 6 p.m. on Thai PBS World's Facebook and YouTube Live. And don't forget to follow us on social media and our website, thaipbsworld.com, for all the latest updates about Thailand as well as analyses. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ